I'm a portrait photographer and I did a lot of creative portraits. And one of them is involving watercolor and photography. So I mixed these two mediums together. It was fun. And then I started to think, why not I get a little bit more serious about watercolor? And so I started to buy professional paints and professional brushes and papers. And I started to watch a lot of tutorials and I bought a lot of courses online as well to learn how to paint. And the more tutorials, the more courses I bought, the more I feel something is missing. A lot of tutorials, they teach how to trace from pictures. And so if I paint a bird, I will get a bird photo and I just trace it and I just color it with watercolor. And there's something missing. It's like, is that the way to learn painting? I was confused, and there are many courses I bought on Udemy and also on Domestika. There are lots of instructors, they would just tell you to trace for beginners. And it confused me because I thought there should be something more to painting, not just tracing. But I follow instruction and I trace quite a while. And still, I feel like I'm coloring. I'm learning how to color and how to blend. And that wasn't something I thought a painting activity would be. It's more of a restriction for me than a freedom. Like, I want to feel free to paint instead of like I have this outline around and I have to paint inside of them. I cannot paint outside because it would just ruin it. And watercolor, it happened to be an unforgiving medium because once I draw out of the line, that's it. I have to start all over again. And that led me to think like, maybe there are other ways to draw, not just like this. I start to look for some other more information and the artists I really like, their work that I really drawn to, that I really enjoy watching them. I slowly find out they all have drawing skills, fundamental good drawing skills. I feel, no, I am a little bit too late for that. I was already 43. So I just want a shortcut to paint something I want. I also paint oil. And I created this from my photograph. I was very proud that I can create something like that from my own self-portrait to oil painting in a abstract. And also there is a form there. And I really like the work, but still I was tracing and paint oil on it. I know that is not something I want forever because I feel I'm restricting. I don't know how this drawing started. I want to then, so I shortcut it using photography, which is my profession, and I'm really good at it. I know how to set up the lighting and the posing. I do self-portrait as well, so I don't have to work with other people. This is one of the things I do as a creative. And so I created a portrait that I really love, something that I feel has expression and visually pleasing. So I use that image to just trace on the canvas. And then I start to paint with that. And it's like, still, there's something missing. I'm not so sure about, I wasn't proud of the work. It looks beautiful to me, but I'm not 100% sure that is something solid, something that I feel, I don't know. I just feel there's something missing. I can't put my finger on it. I can't tell you why. I just know there's something missing. And then I started to learn more oil painters' work. Like I would join some memberships and to see how they work. And I realized it all comes to basics. They know how to draw. The basic is pretty obvious, and I wanted to shortcut this. I don't want to learn how to draw. I just want to learn how to paint and have a complete work very, very quick. And there's a true side of voices. There are artists say, oh, I've been tracing, I use projectors and it come out really good. And if you want to do work fast, produce work fast, this is the way. I know this is the way when you want to produce fast work. But then those people who tries, I must admit, when I look at their work, it's not particularly I would feel drawn to. That's just the thing. Like I'm drawn to people who already have solid drawing skill and their painting come out really alive. It doesn't matter what genre they're in. That's just something that is so, I just feel gravitated to it. So that is something I want. And I can't have it if I don't have drawing skill. Just plain and simple. And it took me 2 years to really decide that, okay, I have to learn how to draw. Because I know it's going to take me years, a decade to master how to draw. And I want to paint in oil and I want to draw in charcoal. I am now 45. For me, it's like, do I have time? Still, do I have time to do all this decade, to work a decade to master a new skill? Is that worth it? So I've been contemplating that and go back and went back to tracing again, and I changed my medium from watercolor to gouache and then to ink drawing and then to oil painting. I changed all these mediums. I hope there's a different result. Like I'll change it to oil. Maybe it is more because the oil you can blend, you can put on, you can wipe it off and you can put on top of it, just like charcoal drawing. It's so flexible and I really love these two mediums. I changed the medium, but something's still missing. And it's like, okay, then I have to really give up the thought about having shortcuts. That is not exist. I have to give up the thought that looking for a shortcut is not the way to produce the work I would love, I would be proud of. So I decided not to do it just because the work I really want to produce is not from tracing. That's why I started to pick up books, a lot of different drawing books to figure out how to draw. I also joined the ink drawing membership. It's about measuring, like the one head is 2 head, or like this length is from here is 1/3 or half, just all about measuring. And you measure it and you start to draw from your measuring. And of course, the reference photo, you measure the reference photo as well, the distance to A and B, and then you go on drawing like that. It's not how I imagine a drawing should be. It just sounds more technical to me. It's like a technical drawing with measurements, with rules, with formulas, because this is like, they would say top of the head to the feet should be a head. And also the measuring, like where is the eyes, you put, I'm measuring here, like 1/3 is the eyebrow, 1/3 is here, 1/3 is down there, and this. Okay, the mouth is also 1/3 between this distance. I learned all these rules, and to draw, I feel no pleasure. Absolutely no. These are all formulas, all rules that people come up with this idea to put on top of portrait or painting to measure them. I think this is more of human desire to have certainty. That's something I figure out. Like you want to be certain that you're going to do it right. You're going to paint it right. You're going to draw it right. So I measure it. So these are the basic fundamental measurements and rules. If you do that, you will not get it wrong. And you'll be safe if you draw like that because you come out right. But I got confused. It's like, this is how people actually draw. This is what Caravaggio, Rubens, or Bernini, how they draw. I don't feel that is the way. So I did more research and find more information about drawing. And actually, they are a different way of drawing. Learn how to draw. The method is more, I would say, it's more mysterious way of learn how to draw because there's no rule, there's no formula, there is no certain technical aspect about the way to draw. And I felt, okay, that sounds pretty much like how it should be to me. It's just like lots of practice, lots of practice, loads of exercise, and a lot of time involved to learn how to draw. And I feel that sounds logical to me. And that's from the book, The Natural Way to Draw by Nicolaïdes. So I got a copy of the book and I started to read the book. I was very excited about the content. It says something like really hit me. It says, don't worry about the proportion. The problem will solve itself in due time. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing it. But it sounds really magical and mysterious to me. And I do believe when you practice something a lot, you spend a lot of time and energy and effort on something, it will eventually become yours. Like if you draw a head every day, 100 heads every day, eventually you will be so good at drawing head without any rules in your head. And I do believe in that. And I just feel like, okay, I believe effort and time, it doesn't matter if you're a blacksmith or you are a woodworker, you're a carpenter. It's by cutting a lot of wood to know how to cut wood properly. It's not because like you really good at measurements, so you know how to cut the wood in the right size and right length, everything. No, it's about how much wood you have cut in your entire life to determine how much knowledge you have and you know what you're doing. So I believe in practice, and I believe in this. I practice, and until the skill become part of you. Because I master the skill like that. I know my photography. I know how to photograph people. It takes me years to master the skill to photograph people, especially women. I'm specializing in photographing women. And it takes a long time. And the progress is like the more people I photograph, the more skill, the more knowledge and data I have in order to produce work and know how to work with people, how to get the best result out of them and to present the work that my client will love. And that takes years. So I know that's a fact. The more you practice, you get better. And that is a fundamental rule everybody knows. But when you get into something, you tend to think, oh, there must be a shortcut. This person did it so well. But nobody asks how long you have been practicing this and how much time you have devoted into this. Nobody asks, nobody knows. Like all these artists, I know some artists are getting really, really good at work. And you go back to like study them, read their book or watch their tutorials, and they will tell you they started like maybe a decade or 2 decades ago. There's no accident. It's all about the time you put in, and there's no shortcut. So I gave up the thought about looking for shortcuts, and I start to study the book. But it's not easy. The book is not easy. It's an ancient language for me. I am not a native English speaker. This is my third language. And so there are loads of phrases I need to ask, like, what does that mean? I have to read it for so many times, just a paragraph or a few sentences. I need to read over and over again to get the meaning, to understand how it works, the concept and everything. It's not plain English. So that's why I'm saying I'm not reading the book. I'm studying the book, literally, just because the language and the method is magical and mythical. So I studied the book for a while now. In the beginning, when I just started it, I put down the book pretty quickly. There are some obstacles because the language barrier is not an easy book to read. And the concept, it takes time to sink in. And the long hours of practice, and it just doesn't fit into my life. I can't. I have a job. I have obligations in life. I cannot devote 15 hours a week to draw. And that's a part-time job, actually. If you think about, like, you draw 5 days, 3 hours a day, and that's a lot, 3 hours a day. I was not able to get through the first schedule, to be honest. I stuck at gesture drawing. The book instructed that I would need a live model, so I asked my partner to pose for me. And he would change pose every minute. 1 minute, 1 minute another pose, 1 minute another pose. And we did it during like after Christmas, those holiday time. So he had time to post for me. And after like 5 days, I have those papers around, right? I have a lot of papers. And he would look at my drawing. He was wondering what I was doing. And is that the way to draw? Because it doesn't look like anything. The gesture drawing, it looks just scribbles and just some random doodles. And do you think this is really worth it to do it? Because there's a lot of paper wasted. And that's in my mind as well. I really just going through a lot of papers and I'm going to throw them away. So it's like, yes, I am wasting paper. And so these are the doubts in my mind. And so I stopped it for a while. And I went back to drawing with charcoal and with my reference photos and a bit of oil painting. And I can't get this book out of my mind. So I pick it up again after several months. And I decided like, okay, let me try to redesign this. Not 3 hours, but 1 hour a day. Let's be reasonable. 1 hour a day, I can squeeze the time. But 3 hours, I would feel that's too easy for me to give up. So I squeeze it to 1 hour a day and I redesigned the whole schedule just for 1 hour. So I want to be able to finish one schedule in 5 days with 5 hours. 5 days, 5 hours. So 1 hour each day. Now, I'm telling you, now I am the schedule 13. And it's been a journey actually, because even 1 hour a day is not easy for many people. I find it was a struggle as well. I'm trying to build a habit of drawing, and now I do have the habit, but it's not easy just like, okay, I'm not going to draw, because I feel, okay, drawing is a hobby for me. It's something I enjoy doing. And I feel 1 hour, I feel a little bit guilty that I'm not doing the work, actually bringing the money, you know? I feel a bit guilty. I'm not prioritize my work, my actual work as a portrait photographer. I prioritize my drawing. Like the 1 hour, I must get it done. Because once I stopped, there was a time that I stopped. There was a reason why. I will tell you another time. It's about the reference photos. Actually, it's not about the drawing habit. It's I ran out of reference photo. It is another thing because I shoot all my art reference photos. I don't use other people's photos because I want my own lighting. I think the lighting and the setup and the models and expression, they are so important for this exercise. And I want to produce all this work myself because I redesign all the schedule and I know what I want to get. So it's much easier for me just to produce the art reference photo than look for outsource from somewhere else. So I just did everything. And that's a hell of a job just to create those art reference photo and organize them. And yeah, that's another topic. Once I stopped, it's very difficult to pick up. That's the momentum thing. And once I get into the habit, and if I don't draw, I feel strange. I feel weird because that's become a habit. Just to explain why I stopped watercolor and start painting and I start drawing the basic skill from scratch. And this journey has been very, very rewarding and I enjoy it. It's not easy, it's challenging, but I really enjoy it because I feel I'm learning and I'm improving my drawing skill, which is like I'm now on the schedule 13. It's magical. I have to say, it is magical. I look forward to complete all this first round of drawing challenge, and I can share with other artists who want to also learn how to draw in a natural way, without formula, without grids, without rules. And I look forward to share with people who are interested. We want to draw from the fundamental rules. So if you're interested, if you would like to follow my journey, I write posts every week to keep updated about my finding, my studies, and what my breakthroughs are and also my thoughts. And if you want to follow me, you can subscribe to my channel. So this is how I give up shortcuts, like from watercolor to now basically just pick up pencil to draw. There's a loads of things I can talk about just drawing about this journey. So if you want to learn more, stick around, subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time.